Yo, 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 what's up? Welcome to another episode of Around the Reef. We're up to episode 21. I have a special episode prepared for you guys. It's something I don't always talk about, but I like to have different topics available to you guys if you're ever curious on what I have to say about topics other than sports. So I want to choose a topic that is a little different. It's something that everybody has to deal with in their lives. And when they write the book about you, a chapter of that book is going to be about relationships and what relationships you were in. Maybe all the heartbreak that you had, or maybe you were married to the love of your life for 50 years. So, I think a better life is one where your relationships are more positive than negative. So, now how do we have more positive relationships? Well, allow me to welcome you guys to Relationship 101. And if you know me, you know it's crazy that anybody would take dating advice from me, but hey, we're going to try it on Around the Reef, okay? So it's ironic that when you talk about dating and being in a relationship, it's about being with somebody. It's finding somebody else to be in a relationship with, right? So it's like outwardly motivated. But to be or to have good relationships, you need to first look inward at yourself. You want to be somebody that someone would want to be in a relationship with. And how do we do that? Well, I think I broke it down into a couple of different aspects. I think when you go out with a girl, I think the girl makes a calculation pretty early on the first date. She basically tries to decide what your trajectory is. Are you on a rocket ship to the moon, or are you just going to go straight down? Are you just crashing down to the bottom of the ocean? Or are you just going sideways in life? So you want to communicate that you are on a rocket ship to the moon. Now, how do we do that? Well, it's more than just like having a cool job. Although you do want to have a job or some method of making money, right? I don't think you can be successful at dating if you're broke. I don't believe you also need to be a millionaire and own a yacht to find the love of your life. I definitely don't think that's true. But you can't be broke. So there's that. I think it helps to have some hobbies or communicate to the girl you're on a date with. Like you have some hobbies or like some like interests. I think that's true. You also need to some way come off that you're not needy. Don't want to be needy. That's not good at all. You know, you don't want to be texting them too much. You can kill a relationship that way. You have to have respect. You have to have manners for sure, and be polite and all that. You have to have boundaries. Boundaries are important. A boundary is like, let's just say you're going to meet up with a girl at like 7, right? And then she texts you like, oh, I'm not going to be able to meet you till 9 o'clock at night or something. But you know that you have to wake up early the next morning. So you're just like instead of you just being like, okay, I guess I'm meeting you at 9, just be like, how about we just reschedule for a different time? And that communicates to the girl that you have some boundaries. You're not just floating in the wind. So that's, I think, attractive. You have to have integrity. Integrity is basically like you have to mean what you say, and you can't say something you don't mean. I think girls have like a sixth sense for being able to find out if you are lying or not, or if you're just full of shit. So don't be full of shit, have some integrity and only say things that you truly mean. And the last thing you got to have to communicate that you are on a rocket ship to the moon is you have to have some confidence. I talk about that almost every episode of Around the Reef. you gotta have some confidence, So and dating is no different, and being in a relationship is no different. So yeah, you want to be somebody that someone would want to be in a relationship with. It starts with yourself. Okay, so we got that. You're feeling good. You're like, you know what? I got some hobbies. I'm respectful. All that. Okay, let's talk about meeting people. That's very important. You know, uh, you got to shoot some shots. You have to meet a bunch of different people. I think like even if you're like Brad Pitt, it's like 99% of girls are not going to be into you, just for whatever reason. I don't know what it is, but it's the truth. So you have to shoot a lot of shots, right? And you have to go out. I think. Oh, let me tell you this story. So I used to live in a fraternity house when I went to Oregon State, and there was this kid. He was like a supervisor that lived with us, but he was like 30 years old. I don't think he'd ever had a relationship, and yeah, he's living in the frat house at 30, so it's not going great, right? But he just had this like horrible mentality when it comes to relationships. I remember he said something like he's like sitting in his bedroom and he's just like, man, when is the girl of my dreams gonna come through that door and just barge in and she's gonna be hot and she's gonna like me and only me, and like when's that gonna happen? And I kind of just like thought to myself like dude, that's that's very unlikely. Like you have to go out there, and if you want to find somebody that is high quality, you're not gonna get it just by staying home all the time. Um, I think there's better places to meet girls than others. There's green zones that you should be trying to meet women at. I think those green zones, I think, kind of like coincide with your own hobbies that you have. That's a really good place to meet girls. Like you can meet girls at the bar for sure, but you just have to remember like you are only meeting chicks. Like if you're only trying to talk to girls at bars, it's like what kind of girl is always at the bar? Well, they probably like to go out and they probably like to drink. And yes, you can find some good girls at the bar, but I'm just saying like it's not always the best place to meet chicks if maybe you don't want somebody that's always going out and is always drinking probably. And same thing with like if you were only meeting girls at church, but you didn't want a girl that was really religious. It's like, well, you have to look at where you're meeting these girls. So yeah, like I don't know, I like a green zone for me. Not that it's actually worked, but I'm just saying in like theoretically it's a good place to meet girls is like because I play guitar and I go to Guitar Center all the time. Well, if I met a girl at Guitar Center, I probably have something in common with her that we both play guitar. That's a green zone. And you find out what or think like what are your hobbies? Well, how can I meet girls within that hobby? You probably have at least that hobby in common. That's a good first step right there. So yeah, there find out what your green zones are and go for chicks there. There's one thing I want to talk about, which is very, I would say, important or common issue that pretty much every person nowadays faces, which is like the debate versus like online dating versus offline, or like meeting chicks online versus offline, like in real life. Um, I personally think meeting chicks in real life is way better. It's hard to really build a connection with a girl if you met them online. I think online dating is tailored way more for men than women. Like, I tell my friends that are girls, like, I'm like, you guys should not be on online dating. Like, you shouldn't like do that because it's just like it's basically like trying to answer a logical question that's inherently illogical. And what I mean by that is like, it's like, what is it about somebody that makes you attracted to them? Like really attractive, where you have like a real passion for that person. And for me, it's just hard to get that when you meet them online. It really is. It's hard to feel that same passion as opposed to when you meet them in the wild. You know, it's just so much more authentic. And you know, love is such a, I think, strong emotion, such a great emotion when it goes right. And why would you want to short circuit that or artificially fill that? I just don't. I don't think the dating apps can find you that real connection. Yeah. So you definitely like for online dating. It's like if what online dating is good for, if all you want is to go out on a date with an attractive girl, online dating can do that for you. But if you're really trying to find the love of your life and to have that passionate relationship and that true connection with somebody, I just don't think you can find it online. That's just my opinion. But okay, so let's move on. So say you find a girl that you want to be in a relationship with, or how do you find out if you want to be in a relationship with this particular girl? Well, you need to find out if there is a connection. It might be useful to maybe even write out, like, what are my need to haves? What do I need to have in a girl? Like, she needs to be nice. She needs to be shorter than me. She needs to like sports, whatever it is. And then like, what are some like nice to haves? Like, it would be nice if she did this, but it's not a deal breaker if she doesn't. I think that's important. It might be helpful to write it out if you have like very strong qualifiers. Another important thing to remember is like, you ever heard that saying? It's like birds of a feather flock together. I think that is true for dating too. Like if you meet a girl, or let's just say you want the girl to be more like you than not. Like let's just say like you see me, I don't have any tattoos or piercings. If I went out with a chick that has a ton of tattoos and a ton of piercings, and you know we're different people. If I like one type of music and she likes another type of music, I don't know if we're the same, and it's just going to be tough. It's going to be an uphill battle if you don't have some things in common with the girl you're trying to go out with. It's so hard to find out like what women are attracted to. I have this saying that the human mind is like the deep ocean in the sense that we have no idea what's going on. I don't know what motivates certain people to do anything. I don't know what some girls find attractive in guys. I really have no idea. I don't even think they really understand what is it about that particular guy that they find attractive. I mean, sure, looks are only one thing, but it's just there's so many different factors that play into if a girl is attracted to you or not. So it's really crazy. Like the mind is like the deep ocean. We really have no idea what's going on. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up this episode, but there's one last thing that I want to say, and it's that you might feel like sometimes like you just want to give up finding a partner. You know, it's too difficult. But I think that's not a good idea. You know, finding a relationship, pursuing that person, and then maintaining the relationship, it's one of the strongest emotions you'll ever feel in life. And I just think to live a full life, it helps if you you get to experience what it's like to be in a positive relationship. And of course, like, you know, if you ever want to start a family of your own one day, the building block of that is having a good relationship. So, I hope I gave you some tips or an idea of how you can be more attractive to a potential partner. Um, I can't believe you're taking dating advice from me on Around the Reef. That's crazy, but I hope I potentially helped you out. So, yeah, I'll catch you guys on another time on Around the Reef. Bye.
Under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.